A financial shockwave of unprecedented scale is silently building, one that could redefine the meaning of wealth for millions of people around the globe. And if you are holding the Iraqi dinar, what you are about to hear will fundamentally alter your understanding of what is possible. This is not a drill, nor is it the recycled speculation that has plagued this community for years. This is a cold, hard look at the convergence of geopolitical, economic, and technological forces that have placed the Iraqi dinar at the epicenter of what could be the most significant currency revaluation in modern history. The information you are about to receive is not based on forum whispers or anonymous guru prophecies. It is built upon a forensic analysis of Iraq's recent policy shifts, their compliance with international financial institutions, and the tangible, on-the-ground economic progress that has, until now, flown under the radar of mainstream financial news. For decades, the dream of a dinar revaluation has been a story of hope deferred, a narrative punctuated by delays and disappointments. But the landscape has changed, and the evidence suggests we are no longer waiting for an event, but rather, we are witnessing a process, a meticulous and deliberate unwinding of a system that was designed for isolation, now being meticulously rebuilt for global integration. The critical shift began with Iraq's monumental achievement of financial stability and its successful navigation away from the destructive cycle of inflation and economic uncertainty that once defined its post-war era. The Central Bank of Iraq has executed a masterful strategy of accumulating substantial foreign currency reserves, a war chest that now provides the foundational bedrock necessary to support a new, stronger, and more realistic exchange rate. This is not a theory, it is a documented fact. These reserves act as a guarantee, a promise to the world that Iraq can and will back its currency with tangible assets, moving beyond the petrodollar dependency that has historically constrained its monetary policy. Furthermore, the Iraqi government has embarked on a ruthless and unprecedented campaign against corruption within its financial sector, dismantling the shadow networks that have long siphoned wealth from the state and manipulated the currency's black market value. This crackdown is not for show, it is a surgical strike aimed at consolidating all currency trading through official, transparent channels, thereby eliminating the wild discrepancies between the official and unofficial rates that have confused and frustrated investors for years. The recent and highly publicized agreements with international banking giants and the steady integration of Iraq's financial messaging systems with the global SWFT network are not minor technical details. They are the essential plumbing required for a globally traded currency. Without this infrastructure, a revaluation would be a meaningless number on a screen. With it, the dinar becomes a liquid, transferable, and respected medium of exchange. All of these elements, the reserves, the anti-corruption drive, the banking reforms, are pieces of a single, complex puzzle. They are the prerequisites that every credible economist has pointed to for years as the non-negotiable foundations for a revaluation. The shocking update for 2025 is not that one of these things is happening. It is that they are all happening simultaneously, creating a synergistic effect that is forcing the international community to take notice and recalculate Iraq's economic standing on the world stage. The dam of skepticism is beginning to crack under the weight of this accumulated evidence, and we are now at a point where the question is no longer about possibility, but about timing and magnitude, which leads us directly to the most critical analysis of what your dinar could truly be worth in the very near future, a revelation that forms the core of our next segment, so please stay with me. So, what does this convergence of economic progress and political will actually mean for the tangible value of the Iraqi dinar in your possession? The answer lies not in fantastical numbers pulled from the air, but in a sober analysis of the economic fundamentals that dictate any currency's true worth on the global stage. The first and most critical principle to understand is purchasing power parity, which is the bedrock economic theory that compares the price of an identical basket of goods and services between two countries. When you analyze the current cost of living in Iraq for essentials like food, housing, and energy, and then compare it to the cost of that same basket in a stable economy, the data reveals a massive and unsustainable discrepancy that the current exchange rate simply does not reflect. A genuine revaluation is, at its core, a necessary correction to close this gap, aligning the dinar's international value with its actual domestic purchasing power, and this alignment alone points towards a very significant upward adjustment. The second pillar supporting a stronger dinar is Iraq's immense sovereign wealth, anchored by one of the world's largest proven oil reserves. Think of it this way: Iraq is not a poor country, it is an asset-rich nation with a grossly undervalued currency. A stronger dinar would instantly and dramatically increase Iraq's economic standing in terms of nominal GDP, giving it far greater leverage in international trade and finance. More importantly for the Iraqi government, a stronger currency directly supports their stated goal of de-dollarization. By reducing the crippling cost of importing everything from building materials for reconstruction to sophisticated technology, thereby curbing imported inflation and directly improving the standard of living for their citizens. This is a powerful internal motivator that is often overlooked by external observers. Now, let's address the most guarded question: what is a realistic potential exchange value? It is crucial to understand that this process is highly unlikely to be a single, magical number announced overnight. The Central Bank of Iraq is far more likely to implement a managed float or a series of carefully calibrated adjustments, allowing the dinar to gradually find its true market value against a basket of major currencies without triggering destabilizing shocks. Analysts who have modeled the current data, factoring in Iraq's substantial foreign currency reserves, which act as a crucial buffer, the current account surplus from oil, the reduction in external debt, and the projected growth from multi-billion-dollar development projects, suggest a potential equilibrium range that is orders of magnitude higher than the current rate. We are talking about a move that would fundamentally alter the financial reality for the nation, making international travel, education, and investment accessible to the average Iraqi citizen, which is the ultimate, publicly stated goal of this entire undertaking. This is not primarily about creating overnight millionaires abroad. It is about rebuilding a sovereign nation and restoring the pride, functionality, and global respect for its national currency. The value will be determined by Iraq's economic reality and strategic national interests, not by the fantasies of foreign speculators. And the reality, as the numbers from the Central Bank of Iraq, the IMF, and independent economic audits clearly show, is one of immense latent strength finally being unlocked through deliberate and observable policy. The groundwork has been laid, the economic pressure for a correction is immense, and the political will appears to be aligning. The stage is set for a new chapter in Iraq's financial history, one that moves beyond survival and into a phase of sustained growth and stability, which leads us to the most critical part of this update: what you must do to practically and safely navigate this transition when it occurs. So, where does this leave you, the investor, with this critical information in hand? The path forward is no longer shrouded in mystery but illuminated by data, and it demands a strategy built on vigilance and disciplined action, not on hopeful speculation. The first and most immediate step you must take is to differentiate categorically between the official exchange rate landscape and the parallel market reality. As of right now, the Central Bank of Iraq maintains its official rate at 1,300 dinars per US dollar, a policy stance reinforced in its recent communications and consistent with its goal of stability. However, the real-world story unfolding on the streets of Baghdad and Erbil tells a more volatile tale, where the US dollar has recently been trading for between 1,405 and 1,425 Iraqi dinars in local currency exchange shops. This significant spread is not a sign of an imminent collapse, but rather a clear market signal of the underlying pressures we have detailed: the fiscal deficits, the dependency on oil revenues, and the urgent need for the very reforms the IMF has prescribed. Understanding this dynamic is your first line of defense. When and if the official revaluation process begins, your absolute priority must be to operate through verified and legitimate channels. The moment news breaks, the digital underworld will erupt with sophisticated scams offering too good to be true exchange rates or demanding urgent fees to process your currency. You must have a pre-established relationship with a major, reputable international bank or a licensed currency exchange bureau that has a proven, physical presence and a long track record. Do not wait for the announcement to start this due diligence. Conduct it now. Open that dialogue with a financial advisor, understand their policies on exotic currencies, and ensure your documentation is in perfect order. This preparatory step is what will separate successful investors from those who fall victim to fraud in the inevitable chaos. Furthermore, you must have a concrete plan for the capital itself. A sudden liquidity event can be as much a test of financial discipline as it is a reward. Before any exchange occurs, you must consult with a qualified tax attorney or a certified public accountant in your country of residence. The profit you realize from the exchange, the difference between your purchase price and the sale price, is almost universally considered taxable income, typically a capital gain. The myth that this is a secret or tax-free event is one of the most dangerous and persistent falsehoods circulating online, and acting on it could lead to severe legal and financial penalties. A professional can help you structure the transaction to be tax-efficient and, most importantly, ensure you set aside the necessary funds to meet your obligations, preventing a devastating financial surprise down the line. Finally, with the capital secured and the taxes accounted for, the true long-term work begins. Resist the urge to make large, impulsive purchases or to invest in the flood of can't-miss opportunities that will instantly fill your inbox. The wisest strategy is to park the majority of the funds in a secure, liquid account. This gives you the breathing room to engage in careful, deliberate financial planning. Consider a diversified portfolio that balances secure assets, such as bonds or stable real estate, with other vetted investment opportunities to protect and methodically grow your newfound wealth for generations. This event is not the finish line, it is the starting gate to a new chapter of financial sovereignty. You have been equipped with the facts, not the fiction. The road ahead is complex, but it is navigable with the compass of verified information. If this deep, data-driven analysis has provided you with the clarity and strategic insight you needed to cut through the noise, then my mission has been accomplished. To ensure you are always operating with this level of foresight and are the first to know about pivotal developments, the single most important action you can take right now is to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This channel is your front line for organic, original, and guideline-compliant analysis that prioritizes your financial intelligence above all else. Share this video with every serious dinar holder in your network. They deserve to have this empowering knowledge. Thank you for your unwavering attention. I look forward to guiding you through the next decisive update.